bow to all the seekers of truth.
One may ask the question, there have been so many saints, prophets, incarnations on this earth, and whatever they preached, whatever religion they started, people could not keep to the teachings of these great people. All the teachings were absolutely to the point, according to the time they were facing, according to the contemporary problems they were facing. But none of these have been able to keep the framework, what they wanted to establish, and all of them have deviated, without exception. Some are money-oriented, some are power-oriented, some are politics-oriented. None of them are spirit-oriented. It's very surprising. Then came lots of philosophies, theories, and deviations that people formed. Many religions out of one religion, many philosophies out of one. So people lost faith in religions, also lost faith in God, lost faith in divinity. They took to science. And what science has given us, you know very well. It has given up physical slavery to science. Complete slavery. We can't live without electricity. We can't live without plastic. Above all, we have to live with atomic bomb and hydrogen. This is what science has done. Again, to make compartments. Also the artificial theories that came up in the West and in the East, also we have lots of intellectuals, even in India, which is just a mental projection. And this mental projection moves in a linear direction. And again recoils back like boomerang. The idea, the very idea which was projected. Thus we find a confusion in these modern times, and that is one of the characters of the modern times, that people will be confused. They will not know what is the truth, what is not the truth. And then they will be groping for it. And when they will be groping for it, there will be many in the market who will be selling the truth. This all has happened already. Most of these sellers have been exposed. And people have realized that there must be something more, like an evolutionary process, which is a living energy which works it out. So we have reached a rational conclusion that there has to be something beyond to know the truth which is absolute. We don't live on an absolute level. It's all relative. Some say communism is good, some say materialism is good, some say capitalism is good, but everywhere you go, you find it has failed. I've been now to all these countries who used to be such staunch believers of communism and also of democracy. So one is money oriented, another is power oriented. If you see the infrastructure of all these great philosophies put into a practice, you'll be amazed to see that it's all broken, finished. And there's nothing that you could call as absolute. All their political policies, economic policies, everything in a turmoil. And it's nothing but expediency on which they depend. This expediency works out against the very principle of what they wanted to do. That's how you find the failures. That's why you find the people are so confused. Whatever they thought was absolutely right has turned against them. So what is it that we have to do? Where have we missed the point? Where have all these religions missed the point? You'll be amazed if you read about Christianity or Islam or Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, any of these things. You'll be amazed the principles of all these are about the same and so beautiful. No rigidity, there is no fundamentalism, no chance for fundamentalism. Encompassing everyone. But the way people have become now, they are so antagonistic. They think they are the best, the rest are useless. How can any religion divide people? No respect for any knowledge, neither any seeking. The seeking is only, as I told you, either it is the power or it is the money. Nothing beyond that. Are we just here for these temporary powers or for this money which is already showing its teeth to us? What are we here for? We should think. What is the purpose of our life? Why God has made us from amoeba to human stage? What was His mechanism? What was His desire? This is His mechanism, which He has very nicely built. Nicely built on such a subtle level that we have to just feel it. This is all there. Now when I am talking to you, you should not take me for granted, because blind faith is not going to help you at all. But should be treated as a hypothesis and should have a very scientific attitude of a very open mind. When you have that kind of an open mind, then you will see that if it works, if you get connected with this all-pervading power, and a real yoga, the union takes place, and you can feel it on your fingertips, this all-pervading power of God, which is described in every scripture. You may call it by any name, doesn't matter. The sea is called by several names all over the world. Sea remains sea. If you can feel that, then you are at that point of absolute truth. And this absolute truth, it can never divide human beings, because everybody knows the same truth. Everybody achieving that truth within himself. The second thing which has failed our religions, our philosophies, our politics is that whatever we believed into or whatever we followed did not become an innate part and parcel of us. Is outward. For example, I will say about Christianity. Christ has said, "Thou shalt not have adulterous eyes." What a subtle sense of morality. Even the eyes should not be adulterous. There should be no lust and no greed in the eyes. If you find Christians, they are away from this. They have a brand. They have a Christian brand, this brand, that brand. Then Christ has said you have to be born again. So they brand themselves, we are born again. Just by branding you do not become that. You have to be what you are talking about. Whatever you talk, you have to walk the same way. But that's not possible for human beings. I've been with Mahatma Gandhi, and he was a very great disciplined personality himself, and he used to discipline others also. Tremendous disciplining he had. And at that time, I found the people become very disciplined, very righteous, very good, all kinds of things happen. Just when he lived. But when he died, everything dropped out. Nothing left there. Dropped out like a worn out coat, everything was thrown. What was the reason? They believed that Gandhiji was doing good, alright. They said they followed Mahatma Gandhi, but they didn't imbibe anything that Mahatma Gandhi was saying. But it is not possible unless and until you are the spirit, you do not have the power. You cannot bear even money, power, relationships, anything. Is something that is missing in human beings. Until this missing point is there, we cannot reach what we are supposed to be. I'm here in Canberra, and you must be knowing my husband has been a bureaucrat all his life. And I've seen most of them. I have to tell them that there is a kingdom of God into which we have to enter. Then only we can change. Then we can change everything that looks so confusing, everything that is all the time in the danger of being exposed, everything that we are afraid of. Because you really jump into that new awareness, and in that new awareness you see things very clearly. At the human level, what do? We live either in the past or in the future. We cannot be in the present. At this moment, you are not in the present. Just you stop listening to me, immediately some thought will come from your past or from the future. Like the waves of the sea. And you think you are drowned in these waves. There are some thoughts which are very frightening. Very few thoughts are there which really nourish you. But supposing you get out of that and sit in a boat, then you can watch. You can watch over these thoughts without being in thought. That is, you become thoughtlessly aware. You just watch these thoughts and watch your problems. And supposing you learn how to swim, you can jump in and save many others. And give them that life which you have achieved. But as a result of this, what you get is not the mundane thoughts, but you become the master. If you want, you can think about it. And then you will be surprised by the revelation that you get. The revelation about the problems that you have. The revelation about others, about yourself. This can only happen if this Kundalini rises within you and pierces through your fontanelle body. And you become one with this living force, which we call as all-pervading power of God's love. You can call it as Parama Chaitanya in Sanskrit is called it. Some call it Brahma Chaitanya, some call it True. There are many names given to this. When we see these beautiful flowers here, we take them for granted. How do these flowers got their beautiful color? From this Mother Earth? From a leafy big seed that we had planted? How this Canberra has been enriched with such beautiful trees and flowers? We just take it for granted. Who has done this? Who has made us from amoeba to this stage? Look at our eyes. What a camera it is. Look at our brain. What a computer. Who has programmed it? We just take everything for granted. But there is a power which is all pervading, which exists in each and every atom, which exists so close to us, works all the time, but we are not aware of it. They say there is an autonomous nervous system within us, which has got sympathetic and parasympathetic, two types of nervous systems. But who is this auto? Just giving a name doesn't solve the problem. This auto is the spirit. It is the spirit which is the reflection of God Almighty. In those days of science, to talk about God also is criminal. But He exists. Whether you like it or not, it can be proved. It can be only proved when you become a realized soul. When you become an enlightened soul. Otherwise it cannot be proved. Just like supposing you take a leaf and show to someone and say there are lots of cells in it. Unless and until you have a microscope to see the subtle side of the leaf, you cannot convince anyone. In the same way, unless and until you get your self-realization, you cannot. By no means you can achieve the proof of God, proof of divinity, proof of spirituality. And you are all that. You are divine, you are glorious within yourself. All these powers are within you. This Kundalini is within you, all these chakras are within you. And only thing is that you have to only expand your awareness after your self-realization. All these powers are your own, so why not? Why not we get it? If it's our own, why not we have it? If we have a small little hut somewhere, we'll fight in the courts go all over the world to take it out. What about the powers that you have even within yourself? Such a lot of property that you have, which will not only give you physical, mental, emotional, complete nourishment, complete balance, but also the peace that is promised and the blessings. Above all, you become a part and parcel of the whole. The microcosm becomes a macrocosm. You just become. The question of becoming. It's not just giving a lecture to you that this is claiming something. But it has to happen. It's the actualization I'm talking about. The actualization of baptism that has to take place. It's not just certificate. It's not just kind of an organization. It has to work out innately within. And then all your innate qualities start. It's a fact that by this Kundalini awakening, blood cancer, another type of cancer, so many diseases have been cured all over the world. We don't advertise it too much because that means all the time I'll be busy with the sick people only. But it's better to create doctors out of you that you can create pure people. There are 3 doctors in Delhi. Delhi is another capital like Canberra, where we have 3 doctors who have got their MD after doing MBBS in surgery. To show certain diseases they have shown which are being cured by surgery. Now this is not the only thing that we have to achieve. That you should just get your health alright. It's not the point. What you have to have is a complete command and understanding of the divine laws, and they should be innately enlightened within. Then you become righteous. Righteous with love. You become a person who is your own, as if you are your own master. The guideline is the light of your spirit. And when the spirit shines in your attention, then you become an enlightened person. It starts showing on your central nervous system. You can feel it on your fingertips. This cool breeze all over, cool breeze of the Holy Ghost they call it. And also, this is what you feel first time, is the all-pervading subtle power which you have never felt. Then only thing you have to know how to use this power for your benefit and for the benefit of others. And then you jump into another dimension which we call as collective consciousness. The consciousness you have at the most about yourself, also that's not complete. Supposing somebody is getting a cancer, is not conscious of it. Supposing somebody is getting mad, is not conscious of it. But with this awareness, as soon as you get into some trouble, you get conscious of it because you are conscious of your centers which are on the parasympathetic nervous system. Doctors will admit honestly that they don't know anything about parasympathetic. But it is a realized soul who knows all about it, and he has a complete control over this parasympathetic nervous system, which is the central part. So this is the fulfillment of all the prophecies. This is the fulfillment of all the scriptures and fulfillment of all the theories that are political or economic. Now, for example, I would say if I have all the powers, I am a capitalist because I have all the powers. But I cannot exist with them, I have to distribute. So I am the greatest communist. At this old age of mine, I am going around the whole world, traveling, distributing it because I am a communist as well. I cannot enjoy it myself. So a personality which is developed is the fulfillment of all our ideas which were running short of the truth. The truth was missing it. That truth has now shown itself to you that you are in control of it. You know how to handle this power and how to give realizations to us. The spirit which is in your attention is so powerful that a person who has reached a certain height of his development, which we call as doubtless awareness, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That state is achieved in no time. Sitting down here can tell you what's wrong with someone on the chakras. They talk the language of chakras, not of a person wearing this dress or that dress, but language of the chakras. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with others? And if you know how somehow if you find out how to correct those things, you can correct people, you can correct yourself. Without feeling obliged or without feeling that you're obliging others. It's just a thing that who is the other? If this finger is paining, if I look after it, after all, the finger is not obliged to me, and I am not obliged to feel it. In the same way, if you become a society of people who have brotherhood which is innate, a society of people who have morality which is innate, society of people which has got spirituality which is innate, then who is the other? We have such a society built in now. Sahaja is now working in 55 nations, as they say. And we get people in India once a year from all kinds of countries. Russia, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, Poland, on this side, also England, France, Spain, Italy, Switzerland, America, North America, South America, Australia, Japan, East Asian countries, from all over. I've not been to most of them, Africa, South Africa. But if you see them, such love, such understanding, such enjoyment of each other. There's no question of any quarrel or fights. Such humor, such sweetness. It's really such a society has been already spontaneously formed. There are no rules and regulations. There's no compulsion, but your spirit. Spirit is the one which guides you. And if everyone has the same reflection of the spirit, there's not going to be any problem because everybody feels the same. If you have 10 children who are realized souls, and if you tie a bandage on their eyes and ask them what's wrong with this gentleman, they will all point out the same finger. Supposing they point out this finger, you ask the fellow, have you got very bad trouble with the throat? Yes, but how do you know? Because the children have shown the finger which indicates that this is the problem. So there is no need to refer it to any sort of a specialist. Everybody is a specialist. Even the children know. Even the children understand. The other day we had a telephone, we had some surgery sitting there, little children. I said, just receive her. He said, Mother, there's somebody, but he's not a yogi. Finished. Put down. So I told him, you are not a yogi, first become a yogi, then tell. Put down. He came and told me that Mother is not a yogi. This is just waiting at your doors. Just there. Only thing you have to open up. But we run after things which have advertising and all kinds of falsehood. One thing one should understand, you cannot sell it. How much did we pay to Mother for these flowers? How much did we pay to saints, to great prophets, to incarnations? It's a living process of your evolution. And you can't pay for it. But as soon as I say that, people think it's something wrong with it. Because they don't understand anything for which you cannot pay. It's a very surprising thing, democracy, where people have so much of freedom, so much talk of God. Every country has got a church or something there, accepted as something final. But none of them are seeking the truth. They are just comfortable with whatever they have, whatever they are doing. They are not understanding that this is done by our forefathers and their forefathers. What have they achieved? But now there is a special category of people, a very special category, which William Blake has called as people of God. They will know God and they will make others know God. These are the people called as seekers, they are sadhakas. But so many are lost because of the falsehood that came in this world and people got enamored by it. Whatever it is for us to decide what we have to achieve. There's so much to be told about it. So much. I don't know, I must have given 4,000 or 5,000 lectures in only in English language and many other languages. But this lecturing is just a net of words, Shabda Jal. It can only indicate that this is the truth. But you have to go there. It's like a signboard. But if you just stand there and read the book and read the signboard all the time, you will never reach there. You have to go and see for yourself. Reading about Australia, you don't go to Australia. In the same way, by reading about anything or listening about it, you don't go there. And this is what is not a mental field. It's beyond that, an evolutionary process by which you become the spirit, which is a very small little distance you have to cross, which is your own, for which you cannot pay, is Sahaja, means spontaneous. You don't have to stand on your edge, you don't have to go to Himalaya, you don't have to do all these torturesome things, and you don't have to suffer. You have to enjoy. And this is so simple. Looks so fantastic. It is. It is very fantastic. See this now. This instrument was there, everything was built. But the connection was not there, it has no meaning. In the same way, if you are not connected to the truth, you have no meaning. You are leading a life which is meaningless, which has no satisfaction, which has no fulfillment, and it is innately built in you is this pure power, what we call the pure desire power of Kundalini, which is your mother, which is an individual mother. She knows all about it. There are people who go on doubting all the time. It's easy to doubt, but I would say that it's easier to get your self-realization. Why not we get it? What should be the objection about it? will have wisdom to understand what I have said and will take to your realization. Of course, I would like to have some questions from you because I do not want at the time when we are trying to ascend, your mind should just peep in and say, oh, you should have asked this question. So I'd like you to ask me some questions. Because there's complete freedom inside you. You have to have the absolute freedom, and for that you have to have complete freedom. What's up? Still not all right. The correction is loose. Could you hear me? Now you have put it off. Hello, mirror. Wow. Interesting.
That nourishes them, establishes them, the complete balance, and then is connected with the means. And this energy then starts flowing through all the time. Homeopathy is all right in a way, but I would say that also is symptomatic. What is your symptom? You go to a homeopath. He'll ask you 10 questions. I mean, sometimes you won't even know what to answer. Then he'll say that, all right, I'll give you this medicine, you try. Then suddenly you find boils coming out of your body. So you say, no, this is up. No, it's all right, it is coming out, it's all right. Your antibodies have been activated and they are fighting it out. But in Sahaja Yoga, it's not symptomatic. It's not from outside you treat, but from inside, in the sense that when the Kundalini rises, she passes through these centers, especially the center which we call as the center heart. Center heart is the center which creates antibodies till the age of 12 years or so. And then these antibodies are distributed in the whole body. Whenever you are afraid or when there's problem, there's attack from outside, then this sternum bone starts pulsating, and it's a remote control and conveys the danger to these antibodies. But here you challenge the antibodies all the time. It's like giving a vaccination sort of a thing. When you challenge the antibodies, afterwards they get tired. So that also system is not all right. Instead of that, you must nourish the antibodies. That's what is done through Sahaja. They can become very strong, active. So many antibodies are killed by this. But with Sahaja Yoga, they not only are nourished, but they live very long and they have greater sense to fight the disease. In both these systems, there is no talk of spirit at all. It doesn't deal only with your physical side. Physical is not everything. I have met people who are very healthy people. They have come to me saying that, Mother, we want peace. Some people say, I don't know how to love. Especially people who are over healthy do not know how to love others, to have compassion. Mostly people who do Hatha Yoga for physical upliftment or who jog also, they become very dry, extremely dry, and end up with a divorce or something. So only one-sided development is no good. We are not only physical beings, we are mental beings. Above all, we are spiritual beings. So we have to have a balance.
Sahaja Yoga, how many attempts would it be necessary to raise
No, it's good. No. Not many attempts are needed, only just now you'll be awakened. I'm sure you all will be awakened this evening. We have a center here, very good center. We have very senior Sahajogis, in the sense they may not be in age, but in knowledge. They'll tell you all about it, absolutely free. It's not like this that first lecture is free and the rest is all lynching. It's not like that. But you have to give some time to yourself. You have to respect yourself and your self-realization. What happens? People get their self-realization, and after that they are like just sprouted beans, finished. So you have to grow. It's very easy to understand. It's so simple, and they'll manage it for you. You must just listen to them, practice it, and you'll be amazed. It's such a miraculous thing. It's such a miraculous thing. And so many things happen, unbelievable. You are all the time under protection. You are looked after, materially also, family-wise, in every way. It's another world you enter into.
asking why some organizations like TM charge money, whereas Sahaja Yoga doesn't? Why is this possible?
TM better not say anything about horrible thing like TM. I mean, you are asked me to have to tell you. Actually, I come across it long time back when a gentleman called Peter Pierce, who was running the flying academy in Rannoch. And I don't know, people are so silly that they joined this academy. Then he brought many TM people to me, and they were all in a mess, absolutely in a mess. This fellow had epilepsy, his wife had epilepsy, and his director, they are big names, director, deputy director, president, this, that. And Mr. Director also had epilepsy, and the little girl, she too had epilepsy. Luckily in those days, my husband had gone on leave. So I asked him, come and settle down in my house, I'll work it out. Very difficult days. I worked it out. Of course, they got their realization and epilepsy went away. They had become completely bankrupt because TM was taking all the money in Switzerland and sending all the students there to learn how to jump, to be, levitate. Absurd. Why do people want to levitate? I don't know. What is the need? Already we have problems with our traffic. Think of people levitating halfway. Really, it's stupidity, nothing but stupidity. And then this gentleman told me all the story about TM. I was shocked. How could people take to such a nonsense? First of all, he told me that they called him that they will give him a mantra, all of them. And these mantras were given by somebody who was sitting there, especially this guru of theirs. They called him Giggly Guru. They used to giggle. Must be giggling because must be thinking how stupid these people are. Naturally. And he would give them a mantra. Now, if there are Indians, they'll understand. And very in great secrecy. See, you had to give them flowers, these, that, I don't know. And they had to pay 300 pounds beforehand, before entering into that room. And this guru would give them a mantra, which was Inga, Pinga, and Tinga. Now Indians don't understand. And you are not supposed to tell anybody about it. He didn't know even Sanskrit, can you imagine? Now Inga means what? Inga means the bite of a scorpion. In a local language. Pinga means when a person gets a spirit, he goes round and round. Pinga. And Tinga is when you show it somebody like this. And they paid 300 pounds for that. Then the second course started. People got very sick with that, very pained and all that. So many Even bureaucrats from India went into that nonsense. That painful time. Then they did another course. That is of levitation. So they told me there's a barrister, a Jew lady. She told me how she suffered. They were all asked to go to Switzerland in a very remote hotel. And they had to pay 6,000 pounds for that course, apart from traveling and all that. And there were, foams kept about 1 foot high. And they were asked to jump on it. The course was for 7 days, and for 5 days they had to drink the water which had boiled the potatoes. And the 6th day they had to eat the rind of the potatoes. And the 7th day they were given the potatoes. For 6,000 pounds. It's a fact. I tell you, it's a fact. And stupidly they did it. And they jumped on these things and broke all their bottoms. And do you know there was a case in America against them? And when they're very good at money, because after all, if you earn money like this, you see. And they claimed money, they gave the money, hush it out. And also very criminal. They tried to kill this Peter Pierce. They threw him out of the train one day, somebody. So, they are good at advertising. Every time they start a new stuff, this time they have started, say, Ayurveda. For Ayurveda, why do you need TM? Ayurveda cannot work out in the West because the medicines and all that are made in the fields of India. Unless until they are made into pills and things, they cannot be used. But for that you don't need TM. If you want to do Ayurveda, it's better that you get directly from some Ayurvedic society something. But why to have this TM in between? And talking that you become very dynamic. In the beginning, you see, it's all what we call is as a smashana vidya, is the spirits they use. So if you put a spirit on somebody, that person is so ambitious, the spirit itself. And then this person ambitious, they become very ambitious, both of them. But a horse on which 2 persons are sitting, that horse becomes absolutely tired after some time, though it runs fast. And then they are recluses. There are so many recluses in TM. They have no money. They have taken out their children from schools. I mean, it's true, they charge a lot of money. I have already told you. But Sahaja Yoga has nothing to do with this kind of a nonsense, absolutely. All those people I have already told you taking money from you in the name of consciousness, awareness are all cheats. Take it from all of them. But still it's on. You know about Rajneesh, how he was. But still in Australia you find so many disciples of Rajneesh still going mad. They are all suffering so much from so many troubles. Very painful diseases they have. But what to do? They don't want to come to truth. Some sort of a mania if it is. I asked people, that why do you want to pay? He said, then you are sure that there's something we'll achieve. But I said, how are you sure? Because you are paying for it. Because there's a commitment. I said, how much will you pay for your self-realization? It is so invaluable. How much? We should use our brains. But surprisingly, most of the bureaucrats are in it, in this TM. And there are some people who are paid money to give advertisement. Like this, Peter Pierce was told to say that he was sitting there and he was meditating, suddenly he passed through the wall. But I said, why did you tell a lie? He said, I told more lies. What? He said, I told them I came to America without a passport, without anything, just through this levitation. But I said, why did you tell such lies? He said he was a very rich diamond merchant. And all the money was involved into this. When I got into it completely up to this much, then this Guruji told me that if you don't tell lies, how will you recover your money? You have to tell lies. Just imagine, you just go to America sitting down here, and people believe it. And they advertise with these people. They pay them and ask them to write such things. Why? It's all money making. But I don't know the credibility of this man, especially in India. My husband has been a bureaucrat, a well-known bureaucrat. He has so many awards. I think he has got the maximum number of awards from all the nations. In the who's who, it's written that he's the man who has been awarded the most. They won't trust me, they will trust this man, who was just a ticket collector once upon a time. Can you imagine? Whole thing is such a fraud, but people like it. And you have freedom to waste your money wherever you feel like. You can't help it. It's a fact. This man is writing a book now, Peter Pierce, but he still has problems. He suffered a lot, this man. He's become a bankrupt and he had to go to South Africa. Because you have asked me, I have told you. Otherwise, no use describing these horrible things to you. Makes the whole atmosphere bad. Let's think of something nice. Any other question, please?
Buddha has described. Buddhism. Even the Buddhists don't believe it. He said that when Buddha will come, the future, it's called as Matraya, means the three mothers put together, Matraya. When Buddhism will come to its future state, then there will be Bodhisattva. Means the persons will get their realization, they will become Buddha. But it won't be individual. It won't be through hardships and all that, but they will get it. The realization. And then that will be put to the use of the people, to the use of the public, and also for the use of solving the contemporary problems. All these problems can be solved through surgery. Ecological problem can be solved only through transformation of human beings. Because it's human beings who have brought this. Once they are transformed, all the problems they have created can be stopped. So you have to give it, and its most enjoyable thing is to do realization. Greatest enjoyment in doing that.
What about animals? Do they have chakras or kundalini too?
Do animals have chakras and kundalini too?
Yes, they have, but not so developed as you have. We have a very good system which is completely sorted out. It's a big subject, but the brain of the man is like a prism. And because of that, whatever energy falls on this brain goes into refraction. And because of refraction, we have a clear-cut three systems built in within us. It's two sympathetic, left and right, and the parasympathetic. And so it's a very systematically sorted out. Like in evolutionary process, we used to have, say, lights, electricity in a very different manner. Gradually it is improving. And today it's in a very late state of evolution. In the same way, we have evolved in such a manner that it is very suitable for our evolution. But animals also evolve. Animals are also evolving. These days when you see all kinds of cruel people all kinds of people who have no feelings for others. They must be coming from some Haina group or something like that. Otherwise, how can they be without any heart, without any love? So dry. So they are also evolving. We have already evolved. We have reached. We are at the epitome of the evolution. We are at the crown. We have to just jump a little more, and that's what it is. That's why human beings must be respected the most, much more than animals or anyone else. All right, I think we have had quite a lot of questions, and also you'll be satisfied. Later on, whenever you want to know about it, you can write to me or you can write to these people. But in any case, I hope after realization, you will not give it up. That's just an experience, because we do not take money from it, and that's why there is not involvement. But as you know, there are still problems within us. The Kundalini passes through a very subtle, small, central channel, we call it as Brahmanaya. And she opens up, no doubt. But the connection is not complete. Sometimes it goes down to various places. Supposing you have a liver trouble, it will go down to liver trouble, to other mental trouble, or any kind of a trouble, like even spiritual trouble can come if you have done your TM or anything. If such a thing has happened, then this Kundalini goes to those places and works it out. Now what you have to know is a very simple thing, is that how do we cleanse ourselves? We don't go to Himalayas, we don't do fasting, we don't give up our families, nothing of that. We are where we are. We are not to give up any place, any position, anything. And to develop within. What is the solution? And the solution is that you have to go to the collective. Without feeling what is your position in life and forgetting all that. We don't have elaborate ashrams and all that because we don't make. It's a humble place. Whatever it is, with humility you must go there. With the collective you have to be. And if you are humble, if you go to the collective, you will not only know about yourself, but also you will grow very fast. And the cleansing takes place. Without the collective, cleansing doesn't take place. That's the only way you can cleanse and you can master it. For that you don't have to pay. Nothing of that. If you find any discrepancies, you should write to me. Everybody is free to write. Because that's how you are purified, without any problems, without interference. Also, a kind of a individual meditation has to be done, which they will tell you. 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. It's not done, but you become, you are in meditation for 5 minutes and 10 minutes. That cleanses you. But collective is very important. In the collective to absorb the vibrations, what you call this Chaitanya, this divine power, in the collective, and it cleanses you completely. It's such a different thing to be in collective, and you'll be amazed how it will work out. But that has to be promised, that you will have to do the collective work. There's no commitment. If you want to give realization, you can give. If you don't want to give, that's right. If you want to evolve yourself, you can evolve yourself. But you will feel that. Because the compassion. And you get concerned about your surroundings. You get concerned about people. It's a personality that develops, which is so full of love, full of feelings, and strength and knowledge. So you want to do it, you don't want to waste it. I never force anyone to do anything, nor you will be forced to do anything. Whatever you want to do with it, you can do it. But you have to be in the collective. That's very important. civil to live, because no use watching others, because that creates problems for others. If you want to have realization, then you are welcome and you should get it. The second condition is very simple again, that you are not to feel guilty about anything. Past is past and finished now. At this moment, you are in the present. To a mother, a child is never guilty. So please take away the guilt if there is anything in your head. Because also I think English language has too much of this. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Formerly, when we were young, we used to say, I beg your pardon on the phone. Now they say sorry. Everything is sorry. What is there to be sorry about? You have to be happy, joyous. So not to feel guilty at all. Not to blame yourself for anything. Please. You are not at all guilty about anything. Small things we talk of, which makes us guilty. Also this religious teaching so-called that you are a sinner, you are this, you pay so much money. Nothing of the kind. In Sahaja Yoga, first thing you must know, you are a human being, you are a seeker, that's why you are here, and you are not guilty. Even if you have done mistakes. If you have gone to wrong places, it doesn't matter, we can correct it. But don't feel guilty about it, that I went to this place, I did this, I did that. It will automatically work out, and you'll be surprised to see your own glory. You should not condemn yourself for anything at all. This is first condition. Then the second condition is that you have to forgive everyone in general. Whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. What do you do? Nothing. But when you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. Those who have tortured you are very happy people, while you are bothering yourself too much. So, you have to forgive in general means that you don't have to think of these things which have hurt you, of the people who have hurt you. But in general, you should say, I forgive everyone. You'll feel much lighter even now. You forgive everyone. That means, in short, you should be very pleasantly placed towards yourself. That you are a human being, that you have every right, your birthright to get this yoga, to get this union with the divine. There's divinity within you which has to rise. If you just understand that it is your birthright as human being, and as a human being you are at the epitome of evolution, be happy about it. Be pleasantly placed towards yourself. Do not condemn yourself for anything that you have done in the past. Forget it. Your mother, this Kundalini, knows everything about you. And she knows how to manage the way through. She has recorded everything within herself like a tape recorder. So you don't have to worry. You don't judge yourself. She will know how to manage. She is so anxious to give this rebirth to you. These are very simple conditions which may look difficult to some people. It's not. It's just a mental idea. Forget it. You have to love yourself as I love you. That's the point. And respect. Very important. Because you are seekers. You are seekers of truth. And that's why you are much higher than the rest of the world. Now there's one more thing which should not upset you, that we have to take out our shoes, whether we are sitting on the ground or sitting, because it's better that we touch the Mother Earth with our feet. The Mother Earth sucks in any negative points that are just. Also, if you have anything very tight in the neck or on your waist, you can please loosen it a little. So you should be comfortable. Imagine sitting on the chair, you are going to get yourself classes. Comfortably. Don't have to go to Himalayas to stand on your head for 10 years. Just here, within 10 minutes, you are going to get yourself classes. First we'll show you how
how you will nourish your own centers. This is for only once you have to know. Later on, there's no need at all. After self-realization, they'll tell you how to raise your Kundalini yourself, how to make the connection, all that. But in the beginning, I will just tell you. Now the left side, or the left sympathetic, is the power of desire, of ordinary desire, not pure desire. Pure desire is the Kundalini, and the right side is the power of action. So we put the left hand like this on our lap, very comfortably. You have to sit not too much straight, bending back or slouching, but in a normal straight manner. Please put the left hand like this on your lap and have full confidence. This is one of the most important things, is to have full confidence in yourself that you are going to get realization, no doubt. Now the right hand we use for nourishing our centers. The first thing is the spirit, which resides in the heart. So we put our right hand on our heart. It's the spirit. If you are wearing a coat, you can put inside the coat. On the right hand. Now, if you are the spirit, you become your own master. So the center for your mastery is on the left-hand side of your stomach, or you can call abdomen on the upper side. We are working only on the left-hand side. In the upper portion of your abdomen, on the left-hand side, you put your fingers and press it a little. This is the center of your mastery. This is created by great masters, prophets, which is to be enlightened. Then you have to take down your right hand in the lower portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. This is the center of pure knowledge of divine laws, and also the knowledge how to work it out. It's very important. Then again you have to put your hand in the upper portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. Please, all of you have to do it. Please, all of you do it. Now put your right hand on your heart again. Now when you feel guilty, the center here or in the corner of your neck and your shoulder, here, catches very bad and gives you diseases like angina, spondylitis. On the whole, it makes your organs very lethargic. So it's no use being guilty. Now turn your head to your right and press it hard here as much as you can. Knowing that you are not guilty in the eyes of God. Now put your right hand on top of your forehead across, and you can press it on both the sides. One side with the thumb, another side with your fingers, and put down your head as far as possible. This is the center to forgive. To forgive everyone in general. We'll do that later on, just I'm showing you where to put your hands. Now please take your right hand on the back side of your head and push back your head as far as possible. This is the center where, without feeling guilty, push back your head as far as possible. This is the center where, without feeling guilty, without condemning yourself, without counting your mistakes, for your own satisfaction, you have to ask forgiveness from this all-pervading divine power of love. Now, stretch your hand fully. Now the last center, very important. Put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. Put the center properly. Now, push back your fingers.
This is for the actualization of the baptism as this. Push back your fingers so that there's a good pressure on your scalp. Now please put down your head as far as possible. And now move your scalp slowly clockwise 7 times. Please move your scalp slowly clockwise 7 times. Put down your head. This is the last center called a Sahasrara, means a lotus of 1,000 petals, which covers the limbic area. Now, that's all we have to do. That's all. You'll have to close your eyes when I tell you. You can take out your spectacles. Later on you can put them on. You have to put both your feet apart from each other. As I told you, there are 2 powers separate. One complementary to the other. So just put both the feet apart from each other. Put the left hand towards me. And now put the right hand on your heart. Please close your eyes. Please close them slowly, not pressing them down, but just close them so that the lids are not pressed or compressed. Now here, you have to ask me a very fundamental question about yourself. 3 times in your heart. Please ask a question within your heart. You can call me Mother or Shri Mataji, whatever you feel like. Mother, am I the spirit? Ask this question in your heart. Mother, am I the spirit? In the heart resides the spirit. And if you are the spirit, you become your own master, your own guide, your own guru. So now please take down your right hand onto the upper portion of your abdomen on the left hand side and press it, not very hard. This is the center for the principle of mastery. So now you ask another very fundamental question in your heart 3 times. Mother, am I my own master? Mother, am I my own master? Ask this question 3 times in your heart. I have already told you that I respect your freedom and I cannot force pure knowledge on you. You have to ask for it. So now please take your right hand in the lower portion of your abdomen on the left hand side, and here you have to ask 6 times because this center has got 6 petals. Mother, please give me pure knowledge. Ask 6 times, Mother, please give me pure knowledge. As soon as you ask for pure knowledge, your Kundalini starts rising. And when she starts rising, we have to understand that we have to nourish all the centers which are upper centers so that it's easy for her to pass through.
This has to be done with our self-confidence in ourselves, with our self-esteem, and knowing what glorious things we are. Now raise your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen and press it hard. Here, you have to say 10 times with full confidence, Mother, I am my master. Say in your heart, Mother, I am my master, 10 times. Press it hard now. Now the fundamental truth about you is that you are not this body, not this mind, not this intellect, not these conditionings, and not your ego. You are pure spirit. So now raise your right hand on your heart. Here, you have to say again with full confidence, Mother, I am the spirit. I am the pure spirit. Say it 12 times. Mother, I am the pure spirit. This self-confidence will open your hearts, will open your chakras. You have to know that this all-pervading power is the ocean of knowledge, is the ocean of compassion and love, is the ocean of bliss. But above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness. So whatever you may do wrong, whatever you think was against goodness, please forgive just now. Forgive yourself. Completely forgive yourself, because all these mistakes can be easily dissolved by the power of ocean of forgiveness. So now raise your right hand in the corner of your neck and the shoulder, and turn your head to your right fully. Here, very much with your self-confidence. You have to say 16 times, because this center has got 16 petals. 16 times with full confidence, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Whatever people might have told you, forget it. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Please say it 16 times. I have already told you, whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. On the contrary, you play into wrong hands. Those who have tortured you are not troubled, while you are troubled. So you have to forgive all of them. Now raise your hand on your forehead across. Press it hard on both the sides. Please put down your head. Please put down your head. Here you have to say from your heart. Not how many times, from your heart you have to say. Mother, I forgive everyone in general. Mother, I forgive everyone in general. Please say it from your heart. This center is a very constricted small center on the cross of optic chasm. It has to open out only by your forgiveness. Now, Put your right hand on the back side of your head, on the optic lobe as they call it, and push back your head as far as possible towards the sky. Here, you have to say, for your own satisfaction, not counting your mistakes, O Divine Power, if I have done anything wrong knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. O Divine Power, if I have done anything wrong against you, please forgive me. And you have to say this again with your heart, not how many times, but from your heart you have to say. Now, stretch your hand, stretch your palm fully. And put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which is a soft bone in your child. Now, put down your head as far as possible. Put down your head as far as possible. And most important is to push back your fingers. So there's a good pressure on your scalp. Again here, I cannot cross your freedom. I respect it. I cannot force self-flagellation on you. Please push back your fingers. Please push back. Now you have to move your hands 7 times, clockwise, slowly, or you should say you have to move your scalp, is better. At that time you have to say 7 times, Mother, please give me self-flagellation. 7 times, Mother, please give me self-flagellation, and it will work out. Please put down your head, please. Now please take down your hands. Slowly open your eyes. You can put on your glasses. Now put both hands towards me like this. Watch me without thinking. Just watch me without thinking. You can wait. This is thoughtless awareness, the vicharsana. Now put the right hand towards me like this. Right hand, and please bend your head and put your left hand on, not touching it, on top of your head, on the fontanelle bone area, and move it and see if there is a cool breeze or a warm breeze coming out of your head. Some people even get hot if they have bad liver or if they are not forgiven. Even now you can forgive. See for yourself, bend your head. See for yourself if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your head. Now put the left hand towards me. Bend your head. Without bending you won't know. Left hand towards me. Now bend your head nicely and see for yourself if there's a cool or a hot breeze. Sometimes it is very close. Sometimes it's quite far away, like a jet. See now for yourself if there's a cool or a warm or a hot air coming out of your own head. You have to certify. Don't doubt it. If it is there, just see it. Now please put your right hand again. 1 second. Bend your head and see for yourself. With the left hand. Now, not to touch your head. Little away. Little away.
sky like this. Yeah, straight, push back your head and ask a question 3 times. Mother, is this the all-pervading power of God's love? Or you can ask another question 3 times. Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Or another question 3 times. Mother, is this the Parama Chaitanya? Mother, is this the Brahma Chaitanya? Ask any one of these questions 3 times in your heart. Push back your head towards the sky. Now bring it down. First you feel very relaxed. Now put your hands like this. Those who have felt cool or warm or hot breeze on their fingers or on their hands or out of their fontanel bone area, please raise both your hands. So beautiful. I bow to you all, to your saintliness. May God bless you. Please continue with it. All of you have got it in Canberra. It's remarkable. May God bless you.